New this morning, this past year, COVID created a surge in interest in camping, and the popularity appears to still be holding. WCPO 9 News reporter Allie Kramer is camped out right now. Are you in your backyard, Allie? We talked about this yesterday because I know you've lit a fire. We don't want to break any rules, Allie. Did you?
You weren't supposed to give it away.
Did you or did your husband light
doing
the fire?
So.
I know you've been.
Julie, you better believe that he built that fire for me. And then I took care of lighting it this morning. And I've kept it going at least this long. I mean, this is the best part of camping, right? Being able to sit by the fire. And it's cold out this morning, so we kind of enjoyed being by the fire. But you know what? I feel like that's one of the first things you do when you get to your campsite, and then it gets dark, and then you realize you still have to pitch a tent. And you're dealing with these poles, and you're like, what in the world am I doing? If you're like me, you really don't do this often. And if you're new to camping in the pandemic, well, you've probably never done it. You know, the folks at the campgrounds that I talked to said, we book up so fast with RVs and campers, travel trailers. So your best bet if you want a spot, we've learned, is actually to do a little old-fashioned tent camping. It's a familiar sound at the campground.
People see our license plates that say Idaho and like, oh, why are you here?
Wendy Riak and her husband call the Lebanon KOA home because they're waiting for their new home to be built in Morrow. Everyone has a different story.
They've just been traveling the country for quite a while, which is really interesting to hear. So it's a serious lifestyle for a lot of the people that we've met and talked to.
But for new campers Jenny and John Ivanesi, it became a safe way to get away during the pandemic. And they weren't alone with those plans.
We got 3 camping trips in last year, and that was it because everybody was booked.
The camping boom started during the pandemic. RVs, campers, travel trailers, they were hard to find, even sold out on local lots. And spots to park those campers were even harder to find.
We started back in January looking for campsites, and if you don't snag onto it, you don't get it.
Some campgrounds are booking up quicker than ever. The phone rings off the hook.
Sarah Anglin, co-owner of the Lebanon KOA, says your best bet to snag a spot is to be flexible.
If you're looking to camp, say, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're probably going to get lucky. Typically, we can get you in those dates.
And Sarah says be creative, too. In a time when camping used to be a way to get away from it all, Sarah says now people are bringing it all with them.
The office, school, with the freedom of working at home, your office can be anywhere you want. So we do have Wi-Fi.
Of course, my camping spot has Wi-Fi too. I'm trying to think. It didn't take us a terribly long time to pitch the tent. We've only been camping with this tent one time, but I grew up camping over at East Fork Lake with my grandparents. They'd bring the RV, but we weren't, as kids, allowed to sleep in there. We had to sleep in the tent outside. So a lot of people, I'm sure, remember that first camping trip that they took or that they took their kids on. And in fact, it's still a great way to get out this summer. The great parks of Hamilton County say that Miami Whitewater and Winton Woods, those campgrounds are almost sold out every weekend, but their tip is to actually go ahead, get on the waiting list, because they do get cancellations, guys.